Hey guys, it's Mr. Sal. We're going to look at section 6.5, applications of integers, which is just integers and word problems. We have seen a few of these, but hopefully this lesson helps to solidify what we've learned already. Now you can look at that example there on the left. I'm not going to work with the examples because we have new examples that we're going to look at, and these are pretty well explained here on the left too. So to get us started off, we'll read this problem. An airplane traveling at an altitude of 13,000 feet encounters turbulence that causes it to rise 400 feet and then fall 1,100 feet. What is the new altitude of the airplane? So we look at the first number that they gave us, right? It starts at an altitude at 13,000 feet. Now if we look at the next value, which shows that the turbulence causes it to rise, and rise is one of the key words here. Rise would indicate addition. It's going to rise by 400 feet. And then next it says it's going to fall 1,100 feet. Fall would indicate that it's subtracting this value off. Alright? Now to do this problem, I'm going to first start with these first two values, which is 13,000 and 400. Now we know the operation between those is addition because it rose that value, and that would be 13,400 feet. So from here, then you would have the 13,400 feet, but then it's got to fall to 1,100 feet from there. So we perform this operation with the 400 feet, and we would subtract the 1,100 feet. So 0 minus 0, 0 minus 0, there's zeros. 4 minus 1 is 3. 3 minus 1 is 2, then I'll drop the 1. So it ends at a elevation of 12,300 feet. Now yes, again, for those of you that are wondering, and those in my classes know, the answer is not 12,300. And just like I said, it needs to be labeled in feet on this one. So whenever we see word problems, we should be labeling the answers. Now on this next one, Cindy burned 612 calories doing aerobics this week. If 1 hour of aerobics burns 204 calories, how many hours did Cindy do aerobics this week? So, again, we're going to write this out first. So it says that she burned 612 calories doing aerobics this week. Now, 1 hour of aerobics burns 204 calories. How many hours did Cindy do aerobics this week? Now, it's asking how many of something. That would indicate that we have division on this problem, all right? So I'm looking to divide some two values to get some value that goes into another one. Now, it says that she burned 612 calories, and 1 hour will do 204 calories. So we're really looking at how many 204s are in 612. So this question leads us to the division problem of 612 divided by 204. And we can do long division on this one with 612 divided by 204. And I would look at this as 600 divided by 200 just to kind of give me a quick estimate, and I would look at 3 on that. Now I'm going to do this because I think it works out. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 2 is 6, so it works out where I have 0 remaining. Now the answer to this is not 3 because it's a word problem. It's 3, and the question is, how many hours did Cindy do aerobics this week? It was 3 hours. So again, we're looking at labeling our answers for these word problems. Alright, so continuing with the examples that we have on this page. I got the low temperature in January was -6 degrees Fahrenheit, and the high was 22 degrees Fahrenheit. What is the difference between the high and low? So let's just list the high first. The high was 22 degrees. The low temperature shows at -6 degrees. Now this is a difference problem, right? What is the difference? That's a subtraction problem, you guys. So I've really got 22 minus -6. Now again, going back for me, I would say minus a negative would show some form of plus on this one. So 22 plus 6 is 28 degrees. Now I would be okay if you just label this as degrees. If you want to show it as degrees Fahrenheit, that's fine as well. Now I do want to demonstrate this, okay, just with one of the old-fashioned thermometers that, you know, when they used to break, we used to stab ourselves with. So if I put 0 degrees on this thermometer, it's just a straight up and down number line is really what it is. I would look at 22 as being up here, and then 6 degrees negative would be down here, right? Now the difference is asking distance on this. So it would be asking how far apart are these two. Now distance, of course, should be shown as a positive. But first we would show, just to get to 0, you'd have to go up 6 degrees, right? But then from here you've got to go up another 22 degrees, which is why we end up adding these two to get 28. So yes, the final answer, the difference between these two is 28 degrees in Fahrenheit. In this next example, 6 months ago, you bought 5 shares of stock for $27 each. However, the value of each stock has dropped to $16. Express your loss as a negative number. So what do we got? The value of each stock has dropped $16, and we want to express the loss, right? Now, for me, first, I would say I would look at the starting value of the stock, which was $27 each. And then we get a drop to $16. Now they do want us to figure out the loss first. Now this would just be for one stock, right? So when I subtract these, I get $9 in loss. Okay? Now the thing is, there was 5 shares of this stock, right? So 5 shares of the stock. So I would take the 9 and multiply it by the 5 shares, which would be $45. Now, to show that it is a loss, I'm going to put the negative sign right there. And this would be the final answer. We're going to show the loss as a negative number. It would be negative $45. And again, I've still shown the label on this one. All right, for our next problem, a small business makes $4,500 in one day. If the cost of employees for the day is $200 and the cost of products is $3,025, find the net profit of the company for the day. Now, profit, we need to understand, the net profit, I should be more specific on this one, would be income minus expenses. So I would start by first looking at my income, which is $4,500 in one day. Now the expenses, I want the total expenses, which show as the cost of employees at $200, and then the cost of the product, $3,025 for one day. I would add those two together for my total, which comes out to $3,225 in expenses. So this $3,225 is going to be subtracted from $450. Now, for those of you that know even just a small bit about business, this is going to come out positive, which for a lot of businesses, especially if small businesses, right, is kind of rare. And what do we get on this one? Well, I'm sorry, I got to write this out over here, right? I got $4,500. I'm subtracting the $225, and that will give me my answer of, I gotta borrow here, make that a 9, Borrow from there too. So 9 minus 2 is 7. 4 minus 2 is 2. 4 minus 3 is 1. So $1,275 in net profit. Now again, it's positive, so as a business, this is pretty nice, right? A college enrollment decreased by 954 students over the past 6 years. What was the average change in enrollment each year? So average change is going to indicate some kind of division problem. Now we want to know the change in enrollment each year. Well, the enrollment changed by 954 students. Now since it decreased, this is going to make that a negative value. And we're going to divide this by the 6 years, because that was 954 students, but that was in 6 total years. So I'm going to divide this by 6 years, and this will tell me the total change in enrollment per year. So to do this one, I would need to go to long division, 954, and we're dividing this by 6. 6 goes into 9 once. 1 times 6 is 6. Subtract, we get the 3. So I'll drop the 5 there. 6 goes into 35 5 times, which makes that 30. So I subtract that and I get a 5. And then I would drop the 4 right there. And 6 goes into 54 9 times. So the answer to this one is 159. Now it is negative on this one. So as a problem, and you could just write this out, by the way. So this is fine. I'm going to write it as a sentence just so it's a little bit more clear. But like if you were to write this on a test, negative 159 students per year, that's okay. So something like this would work for an answer too. Most students don't really write the answer in terms of a sentence like this, but it's okay to if you want. This last question, Charlie's bank account was overdrawn $35. He then wrote a check for $40 and deposited a paycheck for $562. The bank also charged him a $15 overdraft fee. What was his ending balance? So again, we're just going to list these as we go. So the account was overdrawn $35. Now this 35, it was overdrawn, which makes this a negative value. But then he wrote a check for $40. So this $40, it was a written check, which makes this a subtraction problem as well. But then he deposit would indicate addition, a paycheck of $562. And then finally, the bank charged him an overdraft fee, so it's minus whatever this fee is, $15 right here. So this would be the problem as we have it. Now I would do this from left to right. Okay, so I do negative 35 minus 40. So I've got a negative and I'm subtracting, which makes it a bigger negative. And then I would do 35 plus 40. So 35 plus 40 is 75. So just right here I got a negative 75, right? But I still got the rest of this problem. And again, I'm just doing this from left to right. Then I've got negative 75 and 562. Now right here I see I have more positives than negatives, so I know my answer is positive. But the 75 negatives are going to cancel out 75 of the positives. So I'm really taking 562 and then subtracting 75. So I got, I'll make that a 12, the 5, 6 is a 5 now, well 15. 12 minus 5 is 7, 15 minus 7 is 8, and the 4 is 4, so 487 right there. So after the paycheck, he's in the positive, but then also a little overdraft fee right here. So 487, sorry about that. 487, and then I'm just tacking this on minus the 15 right here. 7 minus 5 is 2, 8 minus 1 is 7, then we got the 4. So Looks like Charlie's bank account ends at $472. And yeah, don't forget to label this with the $sign. Right, you guys, thanks for watching. That completes this section. So, hopefully this was helpful for you guys. If you got questions, again, let me know. And we'll see you in the next lesson.